flying past the Earth volcanoes, masses, and unlighted sky, punctuated by Earth to it, made many times by cataclysmic bombardments, and unlikely as it seems, a skin-soaked foothold already. Molten semi-solid mantle that boils in extremes, a liquid iron core pulsing out in a deadly cosmic wind from our sun. By now in its final form, a crust. Then it would be less than a sheet of paper, were the Earth the size of a basketball. At first, Creighton's molten semi-solid mantle that boiled years later, Arctic. About another before Atlantica formed two cores, a liquid iron core collided in Antarctica to form Nina. Then Nina, Atlantica, and a solid landmass separated and came back together. By now, the remarkable process of and Atlantica has kicked into gear. Exactly, we do not know. For what follows next, you might want to strap yourself in. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Here's how it might have happened. At first, Creighton's and one continent called had the planet all to themselves. Then, around a half billion years later, Antarctica took shape. About another 500 million years passed before Atlantica formed. The continents roamed separately. 1.8 billion years ago, Antarctica collided with what is now Eastern Antarctica to form Nina. Then Nina, Atlantica, and collided 1 billion years ago, forming the supercontinent Rodinia. After about 300 million years, the three and came back together in a new configuration, Pangaea. Pangaea came apart too. When Pangaea split, and Atlantica split up too. If you're confused, join the club.
Up describes the greenhouse effect. Certain gases allow short-wave radiation from the sun to pass through them unabsorbed, while also absorbing some long-wave radiation that gets reflected back into space. Greenhouse gases trap heat the way glass walls of a greenhouse do. They include methane and nitrous oxide, but the paramount culprit is carbon dioxide. It significantly enhances the absorption and conversion of sunlight energy into heat. For thousands of years, emissions of greenhouse gases to the atmosphere have been well balanced by the amount of greenhouse gases that get naturally absorbed. These conditions have allowed human civilization to develop within a consistent climate. Photosynthesis enriches the planet with oxygen, as plants and algae and other organisms suck up CO2 from the air. Special clay minerals have also absorbed oxygen-consuming compounds into the sea floor. Volcanic eruptions emit particles that cool the Earth's surface, but only briefly, thus temporarily masking the full effect of CO2. Evidence shows that contributes to global warming by adding to and changing the levels of the gases responsible for the greenhouse effect. Changes that have historically taken thousands of years are now happening over the course of decades. Thawing permafrost and the rapid retreat of glaciers in Greenland, Alaska, the Himalayas, the Antarctic Peninsula, and on high tropical mountains show that global snow cover is melting and that massive glaciers worldwide are disappearing fast. Water flows to the seas from glaciers and ice caps as ocean water warms and expands. Densely populated cities like Tokyo, Shanghai, Bangkok, and New York are all at risk. Scientists predict that floods and droughts are likely to increase in number and severity, and climate-related diseases like malaria can surge. Other signs of climate change are seen in drying forests and dying wildlife. Reducing the threat of global climate change starts with sharing technologies and resources to lower greenhouse gas emissions and using clean energy options where available, such as wind, solar, and wave power.
Hit the South American country. Hit the South American jungle region near the no tsunami. 0.9 quake happened near the Peru-Brazil quakes. This is video from a man who was filming an issue for our coastline. Thrown to the floor. 1944. People are still talking about where they were. Has more from our Washington. Filming an ad when the quake hit yesterday, and surveillance video from the epicenter in Virginia shows merchandise in a store thrown to the floor. Well, they're still assessing all the damage after that 5.8 quake. It was the largest in the area since 1944. People are still talking about where they were and what they were doing when the earth shook. King 5 Sue Turner has more from our Washington
that created it all. The flooding situation in Thailand just seems to get worse day by day, and sometimes just a few hours ago, and then of Ayutthaya engulfed, completely dry up until just a few hours ago, and then a stock bank burst and the Chao Phraya River has completely engulfed these homes and has eventually flowed. This scene is being repeated in so many places around the area. Get their possessions to months now. Have now come in to help the situation as well. This river actually flows right into the capital city, Bangkok. So far, Bangkok dry, but it may not be for long. There is still concern that some of this flood water will eventually flow. This scene is being repeated in so many places in Thailand at the moment as authorities struggle to deal with this flooding disaster that in many cases has been going on for 2 months now.
Năm nay